Hello, I'm Mrs. Mercer, and I'm here today to teach your Sunday Level 24 Day 2 lesson. Remember, when you see the following slides, have your child read each sound aloud. Doing it rapidly is the goal. Remember to say the short and the long sounds for each vowel. If your child makes an error, say, "Let's trace." Then say, "This is the letter B," which says B as in boat, and show the keyword slide so that they have another visual to reference. So quickly say the sounds. The keyword slide is just there for a reference. You do not need to say the word, but if you'd like to, go ahead. If you need more time for a sound, go ahead and pause the video at any moment. Short and the long sound. Short and long sound. Short and the long sound. Remember, this is usually found at the end of a word. Short and the long sound. Short and the long sound. Okay. So now, if you have your Sunday notebook at home, I want you to fill in the spell sound section. So I'm going to dictate some sounds for you. You will repeat the sound, and then you'll write it on the lines in the spell sound section. So listen carefully. Eh. Repeat it, then write it. Oi. If you need more time, you can pause the video in between sounds. Ang. And that should go on that third line right there. Remember to repeat. L. L. Ong. Ung. R. And ing. If you see an error, you will do the same thing that you've been doing in class with your teacher, but your parent might say, I see f. Say d. What letter makes the d sound? If you don't have d, cross it out and write a D for d. Now write d, D 2 more times for extra practice. So that's the error correction. You want them to prompt their own error correction. Okay, now we're on to the read words section. I want you to take a moment and put your finger underneath each word and say it out loud. Read it. Pause the video and give yourself a moment to read every one of these words. Okay, now we're going to review touch spelling. Remember, if you are right-handed, you will have your writing instrument in your right hand and you will touch spell with your left. This is so that you can touch spell and write at the same time. If you are left-handed, you will have your pencil in your left hand and you'll start with your thumb, following the left to right sequence of how our words are laid out. Make sure you tap the table. This will definitely help with your spelling. Okay, so now we're on the spell words section of our student notebook in our paper. I'm going to dictate some words to you and you're going to repeat them. You're going to touch spell it and then you're going to write it while saying the sounds out loud. So if I said cat, you'd say cat, and then you would go at while you touch spelled at, and you would write it. Okay? First word, sung. And this will be written right here in this section of your student notebook. Sung. Next word, and we're going to go down. Okay. And you're probably going to need to pause the video after each word to give yourself enough time to repeat the word, touch spell, and to write it. Tall. Repeat tall, touch spell tall, and then touch spell and write tall. And that should be on this second line right here. Only. Say only, touch spell only, and write only. Whip. Say, touch spell, and write. Boy. Blush. Them. Torch. Yard. Take a moment to look over your words. Do you see any misspellings? Correct them now. Now we're going to take a minute and look at the words that you should have written. So check your words and see if you've made any errors. If you've made an error, cross it out. Okay, and then write it correctly. Write it 3 times for extra practice. Now we're going to read these words together, or you're going to read these words out loud to me. So read this word You can pause the video and read each of the red words listed right here on this page. Okay, now we're to the spell words, phrases, and sentences section. So this portion right here of your student notebook. We have our caps here. We'll talk about that in a little bit when we're going to check our sentences. I'm going to give you a sentence. You will repeat the sentence. Then you're going to tap out the sentence. And then finally write the sentence. You can use your hands to touch spell while you're writing the complete sentence, but I just want to model for you the correct way to tap it out. So I'm going to give you this sentence first. That is a sharp thorn. You're going to repeat that. Then you're going to tap it out. That is a sharp thorn. If you were a lefty, you would go, that is a sharp thorn. So you'll know that you have 5 words in that sentence. Okay, now you're going to write your sentence. So pause the video and write the sentence, that is a sharp thorn. Okay, now for our next sentence. It is a joy to see you. So you're going to repeat the sentence that I gave you, and then you're going to tap it out. It is a joy to see you. You'll go back to your pinky and start again. It is a joy to see you. So we know that there are 7 words in the sentence, so you need to make sure of that. Pause the video and give yourself a minute to write the sentence in this section right here. Your second sentence should be right here. Okay. Once you're finished writing both sentences, you need to check for caps. See, check, do you have the correct capitalization in both sentences? A, accuracy. Do you have the correct number of words in your sentence? P, punctuation. Do you have the correct ending marks or other marks that are needed in your sentence? And S, spelling. Do your spellings look correct? If not, change those now. Pause the video if you need time to write that down. Now, check your sentences. Is this what your sentences look like? That is a sharp thorn. Do you have your T capitalized? Is there a period at the end of the word? Is your I capitalized? Is there a period at the end of the word on the last sentence, the second sentence? If you have an error, cross it out, don't erase, and then write the correct word above or below or the correct ending mark. Now take a moment and read your sentences out loud. Pause the video as you will need more time. Okay, now we're going to move on to our new learning. Today we're learning sound card 39, and it has 2 sounds on it. It has onk and unk. Can you say those with me? Onk, unk. And our rule in this bright red box is K is the first choice for K at the end of a word after a consonant, a long vowel, or a double vowel. CK only comes after a short vowel. So when you hear the K sound after any consonant, your first choice is to use a K. If you hear the K sound after a long vowel, A, E, I, O, U, if you hear those sounds and you hear a K, like bake, then the choice for the K sound is a K. So that's why on onk and unk, we use a K and not CK, because CK is only used after a short vowel. Now, I want you to take your fingers and I want you to trace on a surface at home, onk, onk. I want you to do that 3 times. On a more textured surface would be better, but whatever you have. Onk, 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 onk. Make sure you do that 3 times. Now let's do unk. Unk, 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 unk. So O-N-K spells onk. U-N-K spells unk. Now I want you to go, after you've traced it, I want you to write O-N-K 3 times in the new material section while you're saying onk. So you'll write O-N-K onk, O-N-K onk, O-N-K onk 3 times in this section right here. Pause the video to give yourself enough time to practice that. Now we're going to use UNK, and you're going to put it right here on this little section here. We're going to have to squeeze a little bit in. And I want you to do the same thing, but you're going to write UNK, unk. So you're going to write 3 times up and down. UNK, 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 unk. Okay? Give yourself time to do that. You can pause the video if you need more time. Now we're going to read some words from the word book that practice using our new sounds that we have learned. So I want you to pause the video and I want you to take your finger under each of these words. As you notice, there's onk words right here and unk words right here. So take a moment and read some words that have this sound that the sounds, I guess, because we have onk and unk, that have this chunk in it. So go ahead and pause the video and read these words. Okay, now we're going to practice spelling some words with these sounds and these letters in it. So I want you to listen carefully. Okay. You're going to do the same thing as you do in the spell word section. I will say the word, you'll repeat the word, you will touch spell the word, and then you will write it. Okay? Ready? Honk. Repeat the word, touch spell the word. Okay. Next word, zonk. You'll write those if you can. We have 8 words, so if you can squeeze some of them in right here, that would be great. Bonk. Remember, repeat, touch spell, then touch spell and write. Junk. Bunk. Sunk. Chunk. And punk. Pause the video if you need more time on any of those words. Check your words. And remember the rule we just learned. Okay, now we're going to check our words. So take a moment and look at this list right here. Did you have any errors? If you did, cross it out and write it correctly 3 times. Okay? If any of you used a CK, tell me, when are you supposed to use a CK when you hear the K sound? Right. only after a short vowel. Are there any short vowels in any of these words? Or is the k sound, I'm sorry, there are short vowels in these words. Is the k sound followed by a short vowel in any of these words? No. So we would use the k, the K. Now, let's read these words together, or you can read them on your own out loud. Take a minute and pause the video and read every one of the words that you just spelled. Okay, and now we're going to do our read aloud section. You're going to need to pause the video here to give yourself a little bit more time to read these paragraphs. So use your finger and read each word in this section. Okay. All right, that is the end of our Sonday Level 24, Day 2 or Lesson 2 for today. Thank you and have a great day.